Hello, good evening. Thank you so much for joining us this evening for this training for Seneca. I'm Ruth and I'll be hosting the training this evening, and my colleague Amelia is also with us and she will be monitoring the chat or any comments you've got. So please do post them. Any questions we'd be very happy to ask, or if you need something going over again before we finish, please do that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Please do post any comments in the chat. I'll be monitoring them throughout. So anything at all, happy to help out.
Super. Right, so we shall get started. Now that you're all synced, you should be able to see this lovely sync symbol next to your classes once you are logged in. And when you go to the classes tab up here, you will see that there's a list of all of your classes that are here. If you've got any classes that you had created previously, they will just be here. And to unarchive them, if you want to use them again, or they've still got an assignment or something in them, you can just unarchive here by clicking. And then actually, you can then look at the ones that are there and you think, actually, I don't need those. And so then those ones can be archived. And that means you've always got an up-to-date list of exactly who's here. These classes are automatically generated and should mirror what's on your school's MIS system. So as long as that's up to date, hopefully your classes list will be too. But if you're a head of a department or a senior leader, you might want to look at more than just your classes. So under this new schools tab here, you can see all of the classes in the school. And it is very easy for you to, from this tab, to join or view those classes. So you can simply view those classes if you want to see them. You can click on the classes here, so you can have a look at the classes. And then under these ones here, you can see all of the students. These would be all of the students in your school that are signed up to Seneca. So if there's a student missing, then that's maybe because there is something wrong with their email address on your MIS, or it's not pulling them across correctly. It's normally an email error. You can also see when they were last active. So when they go, oh, I haven't logged in or I wasn't able to, you can see exactly when they were there and what classes they are assigned to. And the same with teachers. There is a tab here now for all of the teachers, when they were last active, and what classes those have got. If you need to reset any passwords, you can simply click and then reset those passwords here, choosing a new password, and reset those passwords from this tab. And the same goes for students. If you wanted to, it is possible to select all and reset all the passwords. That's possibly not something that would need to be doing unless it was a complete change because there had been a data breach or something of that nature. So that would be what it looks like from a synced point of view as a member of staff. But as a student, I will show you what it would look like. I'll just go into a student account. So here, now that you are synced, students, when they go to their classes here, all of their classes will automatically be there for them, and they too will have this synced symbol next to them. If they click on a class, they will see what assignments they have due. This means that even if you don't remember to post the homework on the Google Classroom, on the Teams, or on class charts, or whatever other method you use, as long as you tell your students that their homework is on Seneca, they will be able to find it. They can also tell what's overdue and what they've had as past assignments. If they go into a class and there isn't one, they'll get this very lovely monkey that'll tell them that there isn't anything that they need to do for this class. So that makes it nice and easy for students to be able to find all of their assignments and work easily in one place. We're now going to come on and look at what we can do now we've got all our classes already set up. On the homepage, it is possible to invite parents. If you are a class teacher, that will be inviting parents from the classes that you teach, provided that the parents' emails are synced and on your school's MIS. If you are a senior leader, please beware that if you press invite parents, you may invite all of the parents in one go automatically from that tab there. And then on the school leaderboard, it's always a good idea to encourage your students to earn XP so that your school can top the top of the leaderboard. So coming into classes here, if we come into a class, you can see here that already your students will be there. Any teachers who also co-teach the class with you will be there. So what you need to do, first of all, will be to add courses. That will be the thing that needs to happen for all of your classes. And at present, you need to add those courses to each class. So we just search in here for the courses. We then tick that course and add it to the class. We can now, once we've got courses added, we can now go to adding an assignment. So we go to here. There are two options on adding assignments. The first one, the standard assignment, and the exam questions only. Exam questions only assignment is a premium feature, and therefore at the present you can't do that one. You'd need to set a standard Seneca assignment. From here, you choose the course you want to set your assignment for. You select the topics you want to do, and then you look and see how long this is. And this is probably a little bit too long. Our students are going to be there for a long time doing that one. So we then just untick any of these ones here so that you've got a kind of homework that perhaps might last about 30 minutes. You can preview any of the work here so you can see exactly what the students are going to see and check that it is suitable for them to be sitting. And so you can see there's a variety of content and questions there for them to look at. We then go to assigning this one. And here, this is where you get the exam questions. You can set 3 questions, up to 3 assignments using the integrated platform as you've got now. So we can select these assignments from here. It's possible to preview exactly what the questions are and also what the mark scheme is. That means that you can make sure that you select questions that are relevant and that they're going to be okay for your students to do. We then press next. We need to give this a title. Then choose exactly when we want that homework to be due in. So we might say we want that due in on Friday by 4 o'clock. And then we simply create the assignment. When we look at this from a student's point of view, they will be able to see their assignment. It will come up in their class. They will go to start the assignment, and they will simply work through that content that you've been seeing. When we look at the exam questions, they will simply get given a question that they then need to type an answer in, and they can type that in a full sentence. Once they've written their answer, the AI will automatically check against their things. And this is saying plates are constructing because there's much less friction. We had the keywords there. We said they're moving apart. So we can always flag it and say what it should be. And then we can go move on to the next question. And so it's asking to name. When we go back to the teacher platform, we can see exactly what students have written for their assignment. When we look in here, We can see exactly how all the students did. So I've gone into my assignment, I can see, and when I click on one of the questions, I can see exactly what they wrote. If I feel it ought to be remarked, I can do that here. And then I can see where most students are falling down. So in this class, not all students are gaining both marks for question 3. And there's a couple of students here who are finding these questions here tricky, which means you can target your learning in lessons much more easily. We can also have a look at the topics that have been covered, and we can see that some of these weren't covered. If we look at one of the other assignments, the same thing happens. You can see exactly what has covered. Now this assignment has obviously been only done very briefly by these students. Some have spent less than a minute doing it. So we're going to reassign this assignment that's been completed to those students and just assign them the sections that they weren't complete so that they actually go to do those. You could decide that you want to send them, if they hadn't scored very well, so anyone who got less than 50%, so they redo that, or again, less than 80% if you're looking for good completion rates for your students. We're then here, and we're then going to call this reassign electricity. And then we choose when we want that one to be done by. And because it should only be a recap, they shouldn't need too long to do that one. And we reassign that. And then those parts can then, and every time you create an assignment, you can post it directly to Google Classroom, to Teams, email it, or copy and paste this link into any other platform you use for overseeing your homework. I'm going to pause there one moment and just check there are no questions at the moment, Amelia.
No questions so far, but please do add them in the chat, everyone, if anything comes up. But for now, we're good, Ruth.
Okay, lovely. So we've looked at creating assignments. We've looked at reassigning things. The other thing that you might want to do in assignments is you might want to create an assignment that is for more than one class. So perhaps you're teaching science for Key Stage 3 across multiple classes. The one thing to note for this is you can choose the course as you would do. You can choose a particular topic, check that it's the right amount of time, assign this. We can also choose exam questions. Even though this is a Key Stage 3 class, there are still questions that will test their knowledge in that same style with a question where they have to free type their answer. And next, now this is where we are going to look at year group, science homework, stage 3, and we can then assign that same task to all of the classes that we would like to do that for. The only thing you have to make sure is that Key Stage 3 science, if it's a science piece of homework, is on every single course. And then in the same way, you decide when you would like that in, and in a week's time, and then you create that, and that then can be posted, and it can be posted for each class. We'll get a link that can be posted across into their own Google Classroom, etc. So that means that if you are setting something for a whole year group, it makes it much easier to do. So we've looked at our assignments. We're now going to come and look at this next tab down, which is our Insights tab. This is where you can see how your students have been doing in the different courses. So in this one, if I look at the geography and I look in the last week, I can see exactly how much learning time has been done, what their average score was. And that can be broken down also by topics. And I can choose a different course and see exactly how those students have done. We can export any of this data via the Excel sheet. So we can have a look and see exactly what has gone on. This is quite useful for oversight to see and just monitor who is completing things and how long they're spending doing it. There is also a way of looking in more detail by using the reporting function. So we choose the class that we want to run a report for. We choose the time period, whether that be a week, a month, even a year. Might be a little while to generate the report. And then we generate that report. It takes a few minutes to run through, but when it does, it will produce something that looks like this. So here you can see all of the subjects that have been studied by this class. You can see their average amount they get on each assignment, how many students have been active during that time, and the amount of learning hours. What's probably most useful is this group of target groups. So if you're looking particularly at your pupil premium children, you can have a look at exactly how long they have done as total learning time. And what's quite useful is to look at this independent study time. This can be particularly good if you want to give children bonuses or rewards for studying by themselves. And then this is then split down by every subject, you can see. And you might then also focus on your SEN children to see what progress they are making and whether they're spending any time doing any independent study. And then under the student tab, again, you can see exactly the assignment set, total, how many subjects, total hours, independent study for every student, and then it's split again down by subjects. And it's a headed department. You can also see what teachers have been most active and how many assignments they have set and to what year groups they have set them. This might be good as an oversight to check how things are going. So if we come back to the platform, here, so we have looked at our homepage, our leaderboard, and also in our classes, we have looked at how to set assignments, to reassign tasks, looking at those ones where we've set them across more than one class. So we've set it to multiple classes. And then we've looked at our Insights tab where we find out the information about how our students are doing, as well as our Reporting tab. And the only thing we haven't talked about is inviting those parents. So if you look at your students, you can, on an individual level, reset any passwords. And you can also invite parents from your classroom tab. So you can invite those parents so that they can have an oversight exactly as to how their students are doing. So hopefully that has been useful. Are there any questions, Amelia?
We do have a couple of questions.
Okay.
So we've got one from Mr. Bremner, who asked, is there a way to smart reassign to specific pupils? Unfortunately, at the moment, the answer to that is no. It kind of has to be done based on that sort of banding. So if, for instance, there's only the 2 students you want to reassign it to are the ones who haven't done it before, then you can reassign it to only the students who didn't complete it. Or if the couple of students you want to reassign it to are the students who got less than 50%, if it works out well like that, obviously that makes it very easy. But the other option is if you're setting an assignment normally, you don't have to assign it to all the students in the class. So if you wanted to go through and set it for, say, just 2 of the students in the class, as Ruth's going to show you quickly now, then it's really easy to just select those specific students when you're setting kind of a normal assignment. So once you've given it a name.
I have no idea what geography topic I hit. at random. And so here, where you've got all selected, you can then just choose which specific students you set this assignment to. And then it would create it just for those specific students rather than for the whole class.
Perfect. And then Mrs. Smith has asked, is there a way for students to see how long they've spent on a specific assignment? So the answer to that is no, because what we focus on with students is showing them an effort score and a kind of achievement score. So students get these kind of 2 key metrics, which is their XP. and XP is calculated based on a variety of things. So they get it's basically kind of like a points metric. So they get extra XP for completing an assignment. They get extra XP for repeating like subjects they studied before and getting a better score, so kind of showing improvement. And then they obviously get as well extra points if they do well. So that's kind of the scores that students will see, and they'll also obviously see their total score for each section as they're going through the assignment. So those are the kind of the two points that we focus on showing students at the moment.
And the XP is great for making sure that your school goes up that leaderboard.
Exactly, and they do love a bit of competition as well. If there's any more questions, please do feel free to pop them in the chat. It looks like it's starting to go quiet. So for those of you that don't have any more questions, I think we'll leave it there. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put both mine and Ruth's emails just into the chat here. So you can reach either of us on either ruth@seneca.io or amelia@seneca.io for literally anything you need. If we can't help out, we can pass you on to the person who can. So please don't hesitate to reach out. We're always happy to chat, talk a bit more about Seneca, hear your feedback, whatever it is, we're here for it basically. So just pop us an email anytime anything comes up. And we'll stay on for a few more minutes. So if any more questions do come through, you've still got time. Don't worry, we're not going anywhere for those minutes.
Thank you very much for joining us, because we know it's an evening, and thank you for giving up your time this evening. So thank you very much.
Yeah, much appreciated.
Thank you, Kate. Thank you, Mr. Bremner.
It looks like that might be the last of the questions. So should we say good night?
Good night, and hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you very much for joining us. Take care.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.